Hey friends, welcome back. Today I wanted to give the Morphe bronzer, the stick bronzer. This is their Sun Heat Cream Bronzer Stick and the Morphe Cheek Thrills like trio blush palette. I wanted to give these two products a second chance because I did a first impressions video on some new drugstore makeup products, and I had these in that video and they didn't perform well with the foundation that I used. I used this L'Oreal Skin Ink. So I wanted to just use these products again with a different foundation and see if maybe they performed better, just to give these a better chance. And this is also going to be a wear test today. We're going to see how these products wear all day long. I'm still slightly under the weather, so that's why I sound a little bit nasally. So you'll just have to excuse that. And I went ahead and did my base products like my foundation, concealer, eyebrows off camera. So I'll have the products linked down below, but for my foundation, I used the Revlon Color Stay today. I wanted to use a foundation and some other base products that I know I really like and work well under other products, you know, like other cream products that I have in my makeup collection, just to really give these things like a fair shot. So I use this as my foundation. I use the Rimmel Multitasker as my concealer, and to set the foundation, I use the Rimmel Stay Matte powder and the L'Oreal Infallible Blurfection. I use this to set my under eye concealer. And then for brows, I used my NYX Micro Brow in black. And then I set my brows in place with the Super Lock Tinted Brow Gel in deep brown. And then I'm also going to do a different look with this Morphe eyeshadow palette in Electric Current. So I did a look featuring like the purple shades in my last video, and I really liked that look. I was super impressed by this palette. So I want to do a look today featuring more of like the browns and natural shades in this palette. So that's what we're mainly going to be focusing on today, is just like the Morphe products and seeing how they perform and all of that. So since we already have the base products on, let's go ahead and use the Morphe Sun Heat Cream Bronzer Stick. And I have the shade in Flicker. So I'm really hoping that this works better with this foundation. And since I've been sick, I really have not been able to play around with these products too much. So we're just gonna hope that this works much better with like this foundation, because I really want to like these products, and I'm just thinking like maybe that foundation isn't the best, or maybe just isn't the best with like these products, that L'Oreal Skin Ink. I also want to use that Skin Ink again with some other products as well to see if it works better with maybe powder products and not cream. But I have to say I'm not like the most thrilled with that L'Oreal Skin Ink, just because of the cost alone. It's just way too overpriced to be a drugstore product in my opinion. So far this is already blending out so much better over top of this Revlon Color Stay foundation. So if this wears well throughout the day, then it was definitely the L'Oreal foundation that was not mixing well with this bronzer. I'm just gonna put just a little bit more here. I mean, like, this bronzer has really good reviews on Ulta, so I just found that hard to believe that it would have been like that terrible. And sometimes that's what you have to do with products. You have to use them with different things, test them a few different times to really give them like a fair shot. And I really do like the undertone of this Morphe bronzer in Flicker. It's a good neutral bronzer. Like, it's not too warm, it's not too cool. It's just like perfect right there in the middle. And in that first impression review, I said this was the second to the lightest shade, but this is actually the lightest shade that they offer in this bronzer stick. But it glides on super easy. And this brush that I'm using to blend it out, I got this out of an Amazon brush set. I talk about that set all the time here on my channel, so I'll have that link down below, but this is blending this bronzer out beautifully. It doesn't look patchy at all this time. So yeah, I'm really liking that. So I hope you can see what it looks like all blended out. Looks like 100 times better. Next, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the blush. This Morphe Cheek Thrills. This is the Beach Bonfire. And if this works out well today, I may order a couple other shades. This is what the Beach Bonfire looks like. It's just a really pretty peachy pink color. I'd like to get some of the brighter colored ones if this one works out well today. And I'm gonna get the cream, the top cream shade first. Just really get it on the brush there. And then I'm just gonna stamp that here on my cheeks. Just gonna wipe that brush off a little bit. And then I'm gonna get some of the cream, or not the cream, the powder blush. And then I'm just gonna top that over the cream. Okay, yeah, that is just working out so much better this time. So I hope you can tell like how much better like those products blended out today over top of the Revlon Color Stay. Get my little baby hairs out of the way. And then I might try to see if I can just use some of the shimmery blush on top of all of that, just to add a little bit of a shimmer. And then I am gonna go back with like my makeup sponge and just kind of tap around just to kind of tone it down. So yeah, that looks so good. I'm so happy that those worked out well this time. I will continue to use these with, you know, other foundations and see if it works well. Like I said, I am gonna be doing a wear test today. We'll see how it wears throughout the day. And then let's just go ahead and move on to the eyeshadow. So I'm just gonna prime with my Milani eyeshadow primer. But I'm really considering to get like a few more of these Morphe eyeshadow palettes just because I love this electric current one so much. Okay, I'm just gonna use this blending brush out of that Amazon brush set. And I'm gonna go in with the warm peachy shade. This is just a good shade to start out with. So I'm just gonna blend this all in the crease. But dang, like over the past couple of days, I have been so sick. Like after I filmed my last video, the next 2 days after that, I was feeling so awful. I had to leave work early on Thursday, and then on Friday, I just took off work altogether. I think I had just like a really bad ear infection in my left ear, or just like a head cold or something. I'm such a light sleeper, so even if Josh snores just like a little bit or whatever, like I just tend to wake up really easily. So I was just like wearing earplugs, and I think somehow like wearing the earplugs over a period of time, like maybe I was just wearing them too deep in my ear or something, but I think it caused like my left ear to get like an ear infection. So, I mean, like luckily I didn't run a fever or anything. And like I said, I'm getting better now. I'm just kind of congested. But man, those first few days, it was rough. Okay, and then I'm gonna go in with this matte chocolate brown. Just tap off the excess, and I'm using the Sigma E25 blending to blend this here in the outer V. But I definitely think that this palette is pretty versatile just because it's got like those pops of purples and pinks. Like, you know, you could do a purple eyeshadow look like I did in my last video, or you could even do an everyday look with this palette with the browns and golds. in bronzy shades. But yeah, like with this dark brown, it's blending out just as good as any of those other shades in the palettes. I don't have any fallout with this shade. So I'm just really impressed with the quality of these eyeshadows. Then for my brow bone highlight, I'm going to use the cream shade. For the eyelid, I'm going to use this pointed concealer brush from that Amazon brush set. And first, I'm going to go in with the gold shade. Just packing it here on the brush, tapping off the excess, and then I'm just going to place this here on the front part of the eyelid. Such a beautiful gold shade, so pretty. And then I'm going to flip the brush over and I'm going to get some of this bronzy shade. Tap off the excess on that. And then I'm going to place that right here next to that dark brown and gold, just to kind of blend between the two shades. Okay, I am getting a little bit of like glitter fallout from that gold shade. So that's like the first shade that I've used in this palette that I've noticed any kind of fallout. Okay, and then on the lower lash line, I'm gonna go back with some of the dark brown. Just got some of it here on this Sigma Pencil E30, and I'm gonna run it here on the lower lash line just to smudge. So I'm going to use the shade right here in the inner corner. So I'm just going to pop that shade right here. So even though I got just like slightly a little bit of fallout with that gold, still really like the way that the eyeshadow turned out. Really pretty. It's like you wouldn't think that you could create such a more like natural everyday look with this palette, just because when you first take a glance at it, it looks like it's just really bright colors. But it just goes to show that like you can create like a really pretty purple look and also just like a really pretty everyday look with it. So now I'm just going to mist my face a little bit with a makeup setting spray, and then we'll come back and I'll figure out what I'm going to use on my lips today. Off camera, I went ahead and did my mascara, and I just used the Colossal Bubble Mascara on my upper lashes, and then on the lower, I used the e.l.f. Lash Extender because this did smudge on me the other day, but I still want to continue using it to see, you know, how it works on the upper lashes. So I figured today, since I used this L'Oreal lipstick in the last video, with this being a new, like using more new products, that I would use the Maybelline Lifter Glaze Lip Balm today. I think this is called like Lip Balm Oil or something. Oil Balm. Lifter Glaze Oil Balm. And this is in the color 04 Cherry Swirl. So I'm going to take this lip conditioner that I had on my lips off, and then I'm going to go ahead and apply this lip. So this product is definitely not like a long wearing lip product. This is a product that you do have to reapply throughout the day, but it feels really nice and comfortable on the lips. Like I was telling you guys in that last video, this is really comparable to the Revlon Super Lustrous Shine lipstick formulas, or even like the Maybelline lip butters. Like this, actually, now that I think about it, this feels really similar to what the lip butters felt like to me. So you'll have to let me know if you guys have used any of these Lifter Glaze products, and like let me know if you think that they are similar to the lip butters. They might not be quite as maybe pigmented as those, but I mean, it's still got a decent pigmentation and it's buildable. So I don't know. This is definitely like the closest things to and I don't know why, but I was just thinking that Maybelline made those lip butters, but that was Revlon. But yeah, I think these might be like the closest things to the lip butters to me. But anyway, let me show you guys the time so that whenever I come back, you'll know how long I've been away. So it is 9:25 a.m. So I'll probably come back with like a 5-hour check-in since I'm just going to be at home today, and just show you guys like how like the blush and bronzer is wearing, and then I'll come at the end with a 10-hour check-in to share like my final thoughts on everything. But at least the second, so I guess like it's like the second first impression, using it with the Revlon Color Stay, definitely like these products so much better. But yeah, I will see you guys here in a little bit. Okay, I'm back for my first check-in, and it's 2:36 p.m. So it's been a little bit over 5 hours since I left you guys. And this is how everything is currently looking. So I feel like both the blush and the bronzer is holding up well. And I did reapply this lip product once already, but let's reapply it again. I know that this video isn't really about the lips. But I just wanted to reapply that on camera so you could see what it looked like before I reapplied it again. But like the eyeshadow was holding up well, so I think as long as things hold up well by the end of the day, like these are actually really good products. So, and maybe this isn't not such a great product. But yeah, I will see you guys later this evening for my 10-hour final check-in. Okay guys, I'm back and it is 7:27 p.m. So it has been slightly over 10 hours since I applied everything. And I know we're mainly just looking at the bronzer and blush and, you know, the eyeshadow. Like it's still, like I love this eyeshadow palette. Like the eyeshadows last so good all day. Like with the bronzer, it definitely held up a lot better than it did with that L'Oreal foundation, but I still don't think it's like the most long wearing bronzer ever. Like here up on my forehead, I feel like it's worn off throughout the day, like just because, you know, I touch my hair and stuff right around there, so I feel like it's kind of worn off throughout the day. The blush, however, I feel like that's held up pretty good. So I'm still kind of on the fence about the bronzer. I'll have to continue to use it and see what I think. But a lot of times with like these cream, like the stick bronzers, I usually have to set them with a powder if I really want them to be super long wearing. Like with the e.l.f. Camo liquid bronzers, I do feel like I can use those on their own and they will last all day. But like my Rare Beauty bronzer stick or like this Physicians Formula one, I do find that they're not quite as long wearing by themselves as they are if you use a powder on top of them. Just really locks them on. So like maybe if I used even my setting powder over top of the bronzer, maybe that would also help the lasting power on it. So I should try that sometime. But my nose is so dry from all of the blowing my nose over the past several days, so it's a little bit dry there. But overall the makeup has held up well today, and I did not reapply the lip after I applied it earlier today. So, and that is not like a long wearing lip product. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this round 2 on these Morphe products, just to kind of show you them a little bit more in depth the second time around, using them with, you know, like a different foundation and everything. And I'm really in love with this palette. Like I think I'm going to get so much use out of this just because I've really been enjoying purple eyeshadows, and I love like this look that I created with it today. I could see myself wearing this look a lot this summer. So I might have to pick up a few more of those palettes. We'll just see. But I hope that you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.